It's the summer after I graduated college, and my dad's having his wedding to his now wife in Montana. So I flew to Montana with my best friend as my guest. So I knew my dad's best man and best friend was Swedish because my dad talked about him all the time, but I didn't know he was so hot. So during the wedding, I'm sitting in the front row and he's a groomsman. So he's standing right in front of me and we keep making eye contact. And I'm getting so nervous. I'm feeling so much tension between us because he's so attractive. And he was wearing a tuxedo and had just sang a Swedish love song to my dad and his new wife. And I just kept writing it off that it was just me because, like, why would he do that to my dad at his wedding? Why would he be into me in the first place? Like, he runs a hedge fund. I just graduated college. Like, it was just a no-go. But cut to the after party. That is where stuff got serious. The after party was a story in itself. Like, I did not imagine my dad was that wild or his friends were that wild. But regardless, the night ends and my dad's best man and my dad's best friend, who's watched me grow up since I was like 4 years old, invited me back to their Airbnb with my best friend and one of their wives. So we walk like 2 blocks back to this place, and that's where it got crazy. And I realized, oh, it wasn't just me. I was picking up on the vibes that they were definitely putting down. So we get to the Airbnb and we all sit down on the living room floor in a circle. And it goes my best friend, me, my dad's best man, my dad's best friend's wife, and my dad's best friend. And immediately my dad's best friend is like rubbing on my best friend's leg and like coming onto her with his wife right there. And she didn't care. And then they start offering us substances and we're like, these guys are weird. And we felt safer with my dad's best man. Like, he's a cool guy. So he was like, let's get out of here. And he brings us up to his loft bedroom. Now we start talking, we're laughing, it's all good. It's like 4 a.m. at this point, and my best friend falls asleep. And it's Montana, so we couldn't get like an Uber back to the hotel. Like, we had to have someone drive us back there, and he wasn't gonna drive us drunk in the middle of the night. So I'm like, well, I guess we have to sleep here. And I lay down next to him, and I don't know what it was that night, but every single touch felt insane. Like, I have never felt better. I thought at the time that it was just because older men know what to do, but... So I wake up the morning after my dad's wedding next to my dad's best man and my best friend. Obviously, that night, we did stuff with my friend sleeping right next to me, and I remember being like, oh my God, I hope she's actually asleep, because imagine she's just half asleep and she knows exactly what's happening. Like, that's so embarrassing, but also was not my first time doing that with the best friend sleeping next to me. So he drives us home. We're all hungover and groggy, and I'm even more nervous around him now because he's still so cute. And I don't know if he even remembers that we got together. Like, I don't know, maybe he was really drunk and he doesn't even remember, or maybe he regrets it. So he drops us off at our hotel. We don't talk about it. I don't even tell my best friend because I'm so embarrassed that I did that right next to her in bed. I'm not gonna tell her that. And so we just go about our day, and she flies home that night. So then the next day I'm there alone and I have to fly back to LA. Turns out that he's on the same flight as me to Salt Lake City. So he drives me to the airport. We fly together, sitting right next to each other. And we have a layover in Salt Lake City together where we sit in the Delta Lounge and talk. And the whole time I'm just like so nervous, but also so enamored. And this is the weirdest part. Turns out he knew exactly what we did and had no shame about it. And we didn't talk about it at all on the way to the airport, on the plane, on the layover, until I'm saying goodbye to him at his flight in Salt Lake City. And he's like, I don't want to leave you. I'm going to miss you so much. I'm going to keep talking to you. I'm like, okay, this is crazy, but all right. And I was basically saying whatever until he left because I was just like still processing that this even happened. And then he gets on the plane. He's gone, right? I think it's all good and clear. I get a text message from him. He sent me a photo, flash, of his hand with his nice watch on it, grabbing my thigh under the sheets the night we were together. It was so hot. And I wish I had access to my old WhatsApp so that I could find the photo. I might be able to find it, honestly. We texted a few times after that, but I wasn't really interested in keeping this alive when I was in LA and he was in Sweden. And I didn't really like that, like, you know, my dad could figure out, like, it was going nowhere. So I didn't keep talking to him. I wasn't into him like that. I mean, he had a whole family back in Sweden and everything. I think they were separated, but still. And as far as I know, my dad never figured out. I never told him, and I'm pretty sure his friend never told him because I know they're still friends.